Welcome back to The Watch. We just came back from watching episode 3 of Velma.
Yay, the trash continues.
It was not good. I think episode 2... Actually, no, I'm going to be honest. I think everything is so crap in this show. You cannot grade whether or not which episode's better or worse, because at the end of the day, like, it all leads to...
It's like being exposed to a deadly pathogen. Eventually you get used to it, no matter how much it sucks and it hurts.
So, this may be our last Velma episode. You see, something has happened.
Really? This might be the last one?
This may be the last.
Oh.
Can I dream?
I laughed at 2 jokes in the show. Yeah. So the brain damage may be setting in. So, yeah, I may have to tap out after this.
Part of me is kind of like, do I keep going on my own? Do I bring Shad in?
Well,
I don't know. Do I bring a guest in? Oh,
I'm sorry, he said it was funny.
that's
He
not what I
said there was parts of it that was funny.
I said there were 2 jokes that I laughed at.
I can't wait to hear those.
Okay.
I just can't wait.
Okay.
So yeah, this show is actually awful, terrible, the worst dribble I've ever witnessed. And especially the fact that this is off of legacy characters who for generations we've all known and loved, and they've just corrupted them in the most crass ways. And this episode, I think, for me, has been the worst one.
Really?
Yeah, like the first one was really bad. Second one was really bad. The third one for me is just being, because they're all equally bad, but every time I keep watching it, I'm like, this one was worse, this one was worse, this one was, because they just keep digging the grave.
I'm trying to, honestly, I don't know. They're all just the same level of absolute trash.
Yeah.
And garbage that is putrid smelling. I just can't get away from it.
Okay, I think we can all agree they are all terrible. They're all yes. But in my opinion, this was the least of all of them. Like, the other 2 were really bad.
Because for me, the last one,
I don't know, this has really bad moments too.
But remember, like, the first scene of the first episode, like, they come out the gates, like, swinging.
They do, but I just feel like in this one, it's just, no. Here's the sad thing about this all. We're comparing the worst to the worst.
Oh, yeah, they're all bad. Like, there's no good. Let's be clear about that. Yeah.
Like, when we review other things, we're like, oh, Avatar, some people, we can see where, 7 out of 10 people get that, Last of Us people.
They're still wrong.
Yeah. But like with this, it's like, why should we be comparing like trash to trash?
Yeah.
It's like, this one smells like poop. This one smells like rotten tomatoes. Like, they're both technically bad. We're just comparing what is
No,
worse.
they're all different types of cat piss.
Yeah. Like, it's still cat piss at the end of the day. So
yeah, let's be very clear. They are all terrible, but some are harder to sit through than the others. Like, I remember the first one was really hard to get through.
Yeah. But
maybe because it was just so new, like how bad it was so new, but that was tough to get through.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, it's like punching yourself in the face a bunch of times.
Eventually you feel numb, which I think we're starting to feel that. The fact that you laughed.
Well, I didn't go, ha, 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 it's so funny. I went, huh, that's funny.
I remember you were watching it and you stopped and you went, ha, I just laughed a bit.
That's exactly what I just said. Yeah.
I just left my mouth.
Yeah, that's it, audience. Tyrant is the man that laughed at Velma.
Well, why don't we get into the joke? Do you want me to tell you the jokes? Because they're not bad jokes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, tell us the jokes first, because I'm sure everyone's anxiously waiting.
Okay, I'll give you the jokes. They're in jail. Fred is in jail because obviously they arrested him falsely and he got convicted falsely. Anyways.
Wait, this is in the opening part, yeah?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, this bit here.
And he basically wants to get a tattoo to be hard in jail. And the guy who's giving him a tattoo says, I can only do 2 things, butterflies and a Confederate flag. And then 2 guys walk in to tell him something and they both have butterflies on their neck. So, like, it's implying that, I shouldn't have to explain the joke, but it's implying that the jailers would rather have butterflies than Confederate flags on their neck. Like,
I suppose it's a fine one.
Yeah, like, it's not... Like, all the others are not funny. Like, you just look at them and go,
yeah, but I wouldn't really.
That, I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah, it's very hard to laugh at the joke when you've had everything derailing you up until that point.
Well, I think it's like everything is so unfunny. Even something that's moderately amusing, you go, huh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the other one was when...
we found a joke that I don't want to gouge my eyes out.
Yeah.
Or ears out.
The other one was a Velma one where she's like...
Oh, no.
A bit of spoilers here. But they don't care.
Who cares about spoilers?
Who cares about Yeah,
about spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. They're talking about how women should defend themselves.
Oh,
And Velma's like, well, what's the top prize? A gun? Like, and that I'm like, that's funny. Like, because
I just don't find that funny because it's like, okay, then give everyone guns.
yeah, but they're talking
The whole discussion where it's like
it got a little
you got a little breath left your mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was it. That was like the only thing that were like,
everything else.
Yeah,
moderately
that's the
amusing.
level we're at. That's chuckle worthy.
Like, this is not a good show. Let's be very clear.
Let's get into it.
we pick up right after we left off with the two twats snogging.
And then they basically are just like, all right, I'm going now. We'll forget about it and have this, even though you'd think this would be the like, now they're going to date or whatever. No, we have to have a whole conflict, this whole episode about whether or not they like
Yeah,
each
and
other.
it does something which is infuriating beyond belief, which is undermine that conflict later all the time. They just can't help themselves. They set something up. They tried to do something that could be funny or even attempt to be entertaining in a mild way, and then they undermine the so they waste our time as well as insult us.
Boy, this show is not for you.
Like, but it's true though.
Yeah,
like this
it's true.
again. We've done this in the previous episodes. We've looked at the overarching story of the arc of the story. We're like, what was the point of any of that? Like, okay, you want the summary for this episode?
We're still at that point. What's the point of this show?
Yeah, like she has a mystery. She wants to find her mum, but instead we're to find out whether or not they're gay, even though they just spent last episode kissing.
No, but that's what everyone wants to know about.
Yeah, she's like, this is the new mystery, whether or not I'm gay. Like, my notes here were like, okay, yeah, she's like, the whole possibility of being gay. That's a big deal. Well, for starters, I think you know, because you're attracted to Daphne, that you've got some inklings. But also, she has this whole thing with Fred as well in this episode, where she's like, I like you, Daphne, but also Fred. Therefore, you're bi. Like, why do we spend this whole episode
Why are we
focusing
looking?
on this?
That's the thing. Some of these concepts can be turned into something funny.
Yeah.
It's just the execution is just so horrible. And they don't do anything creative that could get a chuckle.
So yeah, we have this whole opening of her just doing all this dumb stuff because she kissed a girl. And then there's just random crap like this where I am so confused. It's
Random violence for the sake of violence.
It's like sensory overload. For some reason, the cat has long nails and stabs Dad, and he starts bleeding, and that's.
Random humor.
But it's not funny.
I didn't say it was funny. I just said that's what
It's just random crap like
that's
this.
what they define it
They
as.
think it's funny.
Like, who laughs at this? Like, was the animator being like, "This is so funny"? I'm sure the animator's just like,
No, the animator is slave to their desk and just
Yeah.
like, I just want to get a proper job.
yeah,
That's what they're thinking. Oh
yeah. And then we have this whole. Oh, okay.
There's a scene in this with him that legitimately like annoyed me. Like,
Which scene was that?
I know that there's men like him. The one where how the guy's like, bro, she's not into you. And he's like, yes, she is. And he gets super angry. It's
Yeah.
like, bro,
that
you
was-
simp.
Yeah. Just look.
I swear it a lot there. I didn't realize.
Look, I understand there are simps in the world, okay? But
Go get help.
you go get help. And when someone calls you out on your simpness, don't then double down on it. Don't.
Especially when they're like 3 times bigger than you. Yeah. You're a little skimp.
Or it's like an older, like, prisoner dude is like, nah, bro, don't do it. Oh, then it's just a whole arc with him and his dad's, like, weird coat thing in the therapy. Like, it's so not funny.
No, but that's how therapy works. They wear this weird sweater, and then all of a sudden, people want to confess their deepest, darkest insecurities and emotions. That's
See,
funny. That's how that works.
this-
Because all therapists wear sweaters that are ill-fitting and don't look good on them. That's how it works. Oh, it's so garbage.
Yeah, but then
Even like the lesser jokes in The Simpsons get more chuckles out of me than anything done here.
that's true.
Yeah, New Simpsons is better. And that's bad.
That's a spicy take. Because
That's a bold statement, my man.
I mean, I agree with it, but I never wanted to compare the New
I
Simpsons
think
to
New
this.
Simpsons is
Yeah.
like, it's okay. They're both like, we
But,
can,
like,
Yeah, this is worse.
this is worse.
Yeah, of course it's worse.
But then there's this whole dumb conversation with them where he's like, oh, now I'm going to be the cliche straight friend. because we like to
'cause we
subvert
just have to-
expectations.
we got to say
See?
that out loud
See
because
what I
it's
mean?
hilarious.
Like, when there's a joke that's at least somewhat it's better than that. Come on.
Yeah.
There's a
You're
reason.
not going to defend yourself.
Yeah, I am defending
video,
myself. Like,
nah, the gun joke, it was kind of funny.
it was funny because
Nah, the butterfly joke, it was kind of funny.
All right,
'cause look
fine.
at this.
I'll be nice to Tyrant for a second. At least with those jokes, it required some creativity and some attention
thank you.
that actually had to be given.
When you're sitting there, how long is this? Like 20 something minutes. When you're sitting there and it's just joke after joke that's just so.
Attempt at jokes.
It's not even an attempt. It's so boring and bland and. It's not even jokes. Like half the time, it's not even jokes. It's like me punching you in the face and going, "That's humor, guys." It's
Did that hurt, Nathan? Did it hurt?
That's not.
Does it still hurt?
That's not
Does it hurt
really
yet?
a joke. It's like that. So when there was actual jokes, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, they stand out because everything else is just so terrible.
That's the thing. Some of those might even just be animators. Like, I got to squeeze some humor in here.
Yeah. I mean, there was one part where like Velma's face was all messed up. I'm sure the animator had fun drawing that for, an hour or so in that one little shot. And there's just random stuff. Like I remember when they're talking, there's just like these two guys kissing in the background.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, because, that's the theme of the episode. We got to do that.
and the whole thing about talking about feelings. Have you talked to my dad about it? He's a therapist. And she's like, nah, I don't like therapy.
It's fantastic. Just both of Simphil's parents work at the school.
Yeah.
One of them's a principal, one of them's a therapist. Okay.
Well, when he's like, my dad's here, I was like, what the hell is his dad doing here? And then when you found out he's the college therapist.
It's because
I
they
was
were
like,
too lazy to come up with new and interesting characters.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like having like a principal character, that's like easy to do jokes. Simpsons did it.
Yeah. Yeah, with Skinner and stuff.
Exactly. And that like Skinner's like one of the most popular and beloved characters because of how. Never mind. I shouldn't be comparing it to Simpsons.
And there's just this dumb stuff where like so this happens in basically one shot. It goes from, hey, I saw you kissing Daphne. Hey, you should talk to my dad. He's a therapist. Hey, my phone's better therapy. And even though it's spyware, cut to spyware. And then I'm like,
Oh yeah, it's just some random rushing perving on a bunch of underage
it's been
kids.
like, oh.
That felt like a Family Guy joke, but Family Guy jokes are like moderately interesting.
Yep.
This is not.
Yeah. And they kind
and they
of
can be pretty funny.
But what he said after this is what really is like.
What did he say?
damn.
I forgot.
How she's like, so it turns out you might be into girls and one guy. It's like Simpville man living up to that name.
Yeah,
It really
you
is.
can't let it go. Just really can't. And it's let's just keep making fun of him because it's just
It's so
we
humorous.
can't have humor that just make fun of, who cares? That's the thing. There's no point really.
You know what it really like when I sit down and watch this, it actually kind of makes me want like a new actual Scooby-Doo show. Like I actually kind of want a proper Scooby-Doo show.
You know,
now.
I want a live action third movie of Scooby-Doo.
Bro, I'd love that.
Like,
Why not?
Because they're still like I reckon they're older, but
Look,
they could still pull it off.
Why not?
I'll be honest. Nostalgia bait is very rampant in this day and age. But I think if they kept to their origins, like, okay, tangent here. I watched the Blue's Clues movie recently. It is a kid's show. Like half of it's just the new Blue's Clues character doing whatever. But when the OG host came on, everything changed. You were just like back home when you were like 5 watching TV or whatever. Like everything was okay for those 15 minutes that he was on screen doing his thing.
Banking on nostalgia doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It can be executed well.
And
To
that
be
was
clear,
executed well.
Blue's Clues is like an Australian thing. So
No, it's American.
Is it?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's US.
It's Yankee.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
But yeah, like I would happily have nostalgia in the sense of what Blue's Clues did, because it was its own movie with its own characters doing its own thing, and then they found a way to have him in the plot that was still enjoyable, and he didn't steal the spotlight. But boy, that reveal, he was like, "Hey guys," you're like, yes, thank you. Unlike Spider-Man, where that was just without that nostalgia, it would have
Now be
not been a
careful
good
there.
movie.
I've been holding back.
Okay. But yeah, I think a live action Scooby-Doo that was actually properly adapted to live action with the OG cast that we know, and was still like, not this crap, but the good stuff that we all grew up with, I think would be a breath of fresh air. And today, in this
With
modern...
the CGI and everything, it could be something really good.
Like, it would be awesome, and it'd be breath of fresh air. Because, you know, Top Gun Maverick, sure, it was a sequel, but like, hey, it was as good as the last one, if not better for some. So it's like, do that with another Scooby-Doo.
I would love it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm just curious, out of the Scooby-Doo 1 and 2, the live-action movies, which was your favorite? Mine
I
was
honestly
1.
cannot remember.
Mine was 1. 1 is
Like, they merge into one melting pot for me. Like,
Yeah.
You'd always watch them both like side by side, so I never knew which one was which.
Yes,
So
first one.
I probably which one has
They go to the island on the first one,
Yeah.
and in the second one, it's like ghosts in the city.
oh yeah, it was one then one yeah no,
Yeah,
one was
one is better. That's fun.
that was great. So give us that instead of this, please. HBO, because HBO great live action. Okay, we got House of the Dragon and The Last of Us, which so far so good. Animated. You need to buy some.
There's more cheer in a graveyard.
Yeah, legit. So live action Scooby Doo, give it to us.
Let's move on a little bit.
I want to talk a bit. Okay, if it's
Rambling.
the last Scooby Doo video.
We've been rambling
Our
for
last
10
Velma video,
minutes.
I want to ramble.
Far out.
Ramble. So they all show up. They love the principal, and then
Yeah, but they don't like the therapist, and they boo him off, and
Yeah,
and all that
and
stuff. And
good old-
and the principal makes fun of her husband because we have to, squeeze that in.
yeah,
Can't ever have like a married couple, get along and have normal interactions. No, they have to be.
forced and
There's also,
problematic.
there's also
and-
the death stares that the principal gives like Velma and stuff throughout the episode. I have no idea. Like, it's not explained or anything. It just happens.
Foreshadowing of what's to come, or maybe it's just trying to redirect.
I'm just
focus.
thinking about how like that dynamic could have been done better as well.
It could have.
It would just like it's okay. I'm cool with having like this therapist character be oblivious, and that could create a lot of humor, especially with the principal is not oblivious. But
Well, okay, and there's
there's
interesting
no
things.
point trying to apply any thought to any of this.
No. I mean, I was going to go on that thought idea because he says, I don't have any qualifications. I'm meant to be just a career counselor, but I turn to a therapist because that's what the school needs. So you can have-
Again, an unqualified counselor, you could do a funny joke with that.
yeah.
They just slap it in your face and it's like, laugh. Why aren't you laughing?
Like Community does it really well with like the teachers and whoever else is there, like in the dean and stuff. Like they make it funny. This is not funny. This is just sad. Also, Simpville's just like, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Yeah, because that's funny.
That's how high school students act.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be the other way around. Like that's like comedy 101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just switch it. And then you done. Easy joke.
Yeah, not that that's funny. Let's be clear about that. It just makes more sense.
You can make it funny.
Yeah. And then the girls have to basically...
To combat centuries of toxic masculinity.
Yeah, they're gonna have like fight training.
Yeah.
And of course, because they can't be bothered to draw new characters, they just have to bring in the police here again. The same officers we see whenever the police has to be brought up. It's always these two.
These two. Which people...
happens later in the episode as well.
Yeah, they just always rock up.
They're
and
always there.
comments before have just said, like, in a real situation, this would not be possible nor allowed.
That's another reason why this show is beyond frustrating and why I find it worse third time round. Because we don't even have new characters that we could try to have funny stuff with.
No. It's just the same old unbearable
Same
characters.
cast.
Can you tell we're having fun, guy? This is super fun.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I love watching this show.
I love how they just run out. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no one says anything.
They run out because, they can, it's not like there's the whole pass or anything. And then we go to prison.
see, this is where the joke
This is where the joke was. And then they go to the talk to... And here's the thing, right? Velma had this whole thing of like, oh, am I gay or not? Oh, I've got to fight these people. Let's go to prison and talk to Fred.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's just something you can do.
And then, again, we always... Like, the mystery is meant to be finding her mum. But throughout this entire episode...
No.
she just
You're
hands
missing
it
something.
off to someone else to do or just forgets about it.
You're missing something. The mystery was supposed to be who's taking people's brains.
Well, they solved that one. It's
Fred.
It's not though.
I know it's not.
They just forgot about it.
Yeah, but nobody's died in this episode, so it is 100% Fred. That's how guilty we were.
gosh. Right. No one died in this one.
Yeah, because don't you get it? The romance stuff. That's more important.
Yeah,
the
that's-
awkwardness
that's-
between like
It's so awkward. It's like, should I kiss you too? Like, Simpville's like, she's hallucinating, so Simpville's like, well, should I kiss you like Daphne did? And she's like, no, don't. And it's like, dude, she's just not into you.
Pick up some hints. And this just whole weird, like now her trauma is like kissing Daphne,
Yeah.
not her mum anymore. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I don't know.
think Velma's just very mentally ill. She should be in a,
Well, she behaves like a
Psych ward.
mentally ill person. So
but she should be like, she's sadistic. Like
I don't know.
she's also narcissistic.
narcissistic,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
not sadistic.
No,
Although
not yet, but there
no,
are.
that's Daphne. Daphne's the sadistic one,
yeah.
considering what happens later.
And somehow she got banned from prison.
That's
And
okay, sure.
she filled her boobs as well because she was going to see Fred and she likes Fred for some reason. But am I gay or not? I don't know. And then she goes back to class and like, they traveled all over prison, got all this stuff happened, come back, and now everyone's changed in a bit. Like
That's like a day trip.
like, okay, sure. Logic's already out the window anyways, but this is just like, again, this happened last episode 2. There are parts you could cut out of the show and you wouldn't even recognize it. Like it'd be weird, like, you see Velma and whoever run out and then come back and she's changed. Like, oh, okay, it got changed or whatever.
Yeah.
But like there's parts in these shows where you can just cut out entire portions because they don't go anywhere anyways. It's just trying to find her an excuse to get out of whatever she's meant to be doing.
That's all this is. It's like a really poor person. Poor,
And then they
mentally
wanna-
deranged person's attempt at humor.
Yeah.
They want to talk about their feelings, but that neither of them wants to be vulnerable.
Oh yes, we're
Just
gonna
a whole bunch of stuff I don't care about.
yeah, we're gonna do
basically.
feelings in the bathroom because
So they end up
That's what
fighting
girls do,
about
yeah.
it.
That's what they do.
Girls
yeah,
just
apparently.
talk about their feelings in the bathroom.
Yeah.
You like me? Like you? Oh, blah, blah, I don't want to be vulnerable with you.
Don't you get it?
therefore-
Cliche. We identify cliche. That's funny.
And then they're going to fight each other.
Why aren't you laughing?
And then
look,
the whole,
there's
the
the
gun
other
joke and the whole thing is who's the least vulnerable girl in school?
Yeah, we're gonna do that competition. Who cares about like teaching them self-defense or anything like that? Oh yeah, then we have this scene where Simphil decides he wants to be like his dad and be a therapist properly.
And he can't get anything out of Fred.
Yep, because Fred is, well, one, he's an idiot and is giving Simphil the wrong information because he doesn't even know
Why is
like
that?
what Simphil wants.
Yeah.
Because he is like, oh yeah, there was some Indian lady there. And Simphil's like, wait, that's what I need. And Fred's like, oh, I didn't pay attention though.
Yeah. I shouldn't pay attention to anyone who's like, what was it, over 35 or whatever. Something done like that. And then the guy that Simphil put in
Oh, I
prison
love
shows
this.
up.
I love this scene. Can we watch this scene?
No.
What?
No.
Why?
Because it's the scene where he says, "Bro, she's not into you," and
No,
he
no, no,
spazzes
no,
out.
no, we're not watching that.
Yeah. Romantic relationships between old friends really work out. Like, he says it with such wisdom as well. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, you should listen to this.
Maybe
And then
maybe he'll
gets mad.
become our Borman. Maybe he'll be the one that I.
Anyways, we get a whole like Hunger Games situation here with like girls making
Why do you have a wrist blade?
wrist blade for some
It's
reason.
edgy.
See, that was a funny joke because it's a blade and it's edgy. That was a clever pun there. Unlike the show.
Nothing about
Maybe I should write for the show, man.
Maybe you
Oh,
should,
God,
man,
whoa.
because you would actually think
I'm
of
a
some good
writer
ones.
now.
And then there's this whole thing of like going limp. That's how you defend yourself.
Oh, and it works. It does
works
work.
for her because it's dumb stuff of like, I'm gonna get rid of your boob job, and then she falls on the butt, and the boob job like flies out her mouth, just like gross stuff where you're like, ugh.
That was an ass job.
What did I say, boob? I meant butt.
It doesn't matter.
Like it
It doesn't
legit
matter.
does
It's
not
all,
matter.
it's all terrible.
Yeah,
cares?
and this is dumb
That's
stuff.
the thing. It's just Velma insulted that girl that she beat up, and that's what happened.
And then Daphne
Because the girl confirmed that, yeah, I did get that.
and this is the part with the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. They gave us this at least.
Yeah, they gave us a thumbnail to use. Thanks for that.
Then there's this whole thing with Daphne's journal. And then, again, that whole segment was just girls being violent with each other.
Yeah, just
Meanwhile,
fighting.
the boys have to work out their feelings.
Yeah.
I
To be
think the
fair,
gender
everyone's-
roles have been switched.
To be
in
fair,
this.
everyone's working out their feelings because that's what these types of shows do, I guess. Because
But therapy-
complicated feelings are funny.
I think this one is why I think this one is the least worst of the others because it's just so boring. Like nothing's happening.
Right.
I think
Boring
that's
is
why.
not an argument.
But like so much happened in the last 2 episodes. It was like, this is just,
Dizzying.
yeah, this is just like, they're not really doing that much. Just random stuff.
Yeah, the
that
girls
doesn't matter.
fight, and Simphil just talks to the
Puts on
prisoners.
cardigans.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah, and it's meant to be funny. He talks to his
Yeah,
dad about
right.
everything. It's like, oh, son, I'm not qualified. I just use this little coat here. And then again, we go back to the bathroom
Yeah,
for another little pep talk about our feelings.
Yeah, and the same ground is exactly covered.
Like-
Yeah, the first one was, oh, we have feelings for each other. No, we don't. Now we're going to fight. Happens here again.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. It's a waste of time.
It really is. Stop. Velma, please. I have 2 moms.
You forget, it was like she was practically risen up on Ellen, apparently.
Oh, yeah, she
something
was
like that.
baptized on Ellen's
Yeah,
set or
there you
something.
go.
Something dumb like that.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Okay.
yeah, whatever.
Is that a poor victim story? Like,
No, it's just identifying a famous lesbian.
yeah.
That's it.
Who, you know, is kind of cancelled now, I think.
Is she? I don't know. It's hard to keep track.
And then, again, we go back to prison with Simville and Fred.
Yeah,
Just,
another repeated scene. Only
And-
this time it's the cardigan trick, and it works. Yeah, this is where he turns interrogator rather than therapist.
yeah. And he's
It's
just
just all
hypnotized.
so boring.
And
Like,
again,
if you're gonna make rage bait, at least make it rageful. This is just boring.
he's just like, my dad always left me. He always left me out to dry. And this time there wasn't Bill Gates to bread a cake for me because my dad left my birth. Like, okay, so you're abandoned. And then all of a sudden, now he
yeah,
has a
but-
career with all the other guys.
Yeah,
and
all
they're
the
like,
prisoners they didn't have a psychologist before, but
Just
now
because of-
Stimfil will step in and do the job
Just because he put on a cardigan.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the whole thing of that.
yeah, that's simple. Just that.
and now the cops are like full on like judges.
Yeah,
Like,
Now who's ready for some bone crushing empowerment? Yes, queen.
I like how the guys are here too. Like, yeah. Anyway, they just have a chat talk. Oh, she punches her. Oh, what is she? Oh, she just has the diary.
Yeah,
She has Daphne's diary, and she's not going to read it. Here's the thing that is annoying. At the end of this, she's like, I'm sorry I read your diary out in front of everyone. She didn't. She's like, I have her diary. And guess what, everyone? She has issues.
Yeah.
Mic
mental
drop.
issues.
That was
And that's the one time the show's like, Velma's wrong.
Yeah, and then there was
She's
like,
a mean person for doing that.
I made her vulnerable. I win. And everyone's like, mental health's no joke. And then now she's in therapy. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she has a therapy scene.
can't.
Yes.
this whole discussion is just.
and this time it's not the cardigan that they
Yeah,
put
because
on.
he lost
They-
the cardigan. Like,
No,
he's
they-
in a storeroom full of just like therapy. Like,
He
He
has
has
a
relaxing
like-
waterfall.
Yeah, one of those little miniature waterfalls where they're like rocks and trees and stuff. He turns that on, and that works the same as the cardigan, apparently.
yeah,
That's how therapists have these tricks. They just all have them.
you know, denigrates the therapist. You know,
Yeah, for
that
making
feels
like
smart.
a break. Oh, no, but he reinforces the insult.
Yeah, he's like, I have lost it now. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah,
I'm a dum dum.
yeah.
And now they're back together, and he's just. He's being a simp. He's just dropping her off.
Just bring this up.
Oh.
Get this over with. Let's just rip it off.
Yeah. Also talk about. Actually, can you talk about this more? Explain
Yeah,
more?
please
'Cause
do. Because I'm
Why?
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 Because I feel like you convey this better. I will talk with my words too much.
Yeah, and I'm about ready to leave. So,
Simpville verbatim, basically, they're talking about Fred, and they both realize that he's innocent. Like, they both understand that Fred is innocent. But Simpville basically says, to see a rich white guy get wrongly convicted for once, that's pretty good, huh? Like, that's the whole
Wow,
line.
minorities. That's pretty messed up of you.
That's one of the, it genuinely is one of those things, like, if you just switch that around, it's a big problem. But saying that like that, nobody
Just get
cares.
away with it.
No,
Look
yes.
at their privilege, huh? They can get away with this.
We can't even say anything.
We can't even. Can you? Maybe we'll
I am
cut that
cutting
bit
that.
out.
I am cutting that.
Okay, fine.
With YouTube, we can't even say anything moderately fun or edgy.
Yeah.
Like, the rules for us are so ridiculously tight that we don't even know what they are half the time. It's just,
And they'll change. They'll get more and more restrictive as we go on.
yeah.
No, but these people, they've got unlimited access to do whatever they want.
Anyways, she's like, "Hey, wait for me." And then he's like, "Oh crap, I forgot. Actually, I have an appointment with all the other prisoners."
Group therapy session. Oh, and look, Hannibal's there.
Yeah.
Do you
And
remember Hannibal? Look, he needs therapy too. From an absolute pathetic.
weak man with a little.
All the prisoners get angry because they were vulnerable and stood up, and they basically break out.
Yeah, and Fred
Yeah.
starts a riot by throwing a chair at a wall.
And they all basically,
They just break out.
That's how
Which
the
you
riot
would think,
starts.
man, if it was this easy to break out, they would have done it way earlier.
yeah, exactly. But they all get apprehended, don't worry, by the police. Well,
Which ones was it though?
There's only 2 police in the entire town.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that police.
Yeah. I mean, there's that prison guard, but he's out now.
No, that prison guard doesn't get
This
paid
is-
enough.
Now, at the end of this video, you have another video to share with us.
Yeah, I do.
Related to the scene. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
please, everyone, stick around. Okay, because it's a fan-made animation.
Does
and
that
it is-
include me? Do I have to stick around for
You'll
this?
like it. It's fun.
It's...
Are you sure?
I don't know. He might get a bit depressed because of how real it is.
But it's
How
like,
real?
But it's Meat Canyon stuff, and his stuff is always top.
It's funny, but like it's
Wait,
also...
neat. Oh, I think I know who that is.
Yeah. And so we'll show that scene afterwards because this is basically the scene anyways. But she's like, I came to apologize, yada, yada, yada. like, And they have this whole big talk about how all the stuff that they were talking about in the bathroom, one of them had to be vulnerable. And now that one of them can be vulnerable, they're going to all work it out.
What annoys me is after this scene is where she's standing literally next door and she goes, damn it, I told you to wait for me, Norville. And she has to walk
To the next,
to the next house.
That's funny though.
That's not funny. That's annoying me because he's a simp and he would actually do it.
This whole thing of like,
Yeah,
we're
but
going to
isn't that hilarious?
be friends now. Boobs touch, not crotch. Or she was like, friends who, no. I was like, gosh, Velma, you are so thirsty.
Is that and I think that is that the end of this
And she's like, oh, my
Romance plot?
trauma is now back to my mum.
Oh yeah.
And then, she walks down, literally neighbors. They are neighbors.
Yeah.
And then, they all
prisoners.
they all break out.
And,
And then, oh, look, they're out of the place.
oh, there are. Oh, there's
But those two
others.
catch him.
Yeah, they catch Fred. I hate this show.
So that was this.
That was episode 3
That's the end, right?
of Velma.
That's it.
I
No
have
more.
no idea. I don't know.
Of three.
No
Look,
more, please. No, I've had enough.
You've
I
had
don't
enough?
think I can handle any more of this. Okay, it's too much. It's too annoying, and it makes me just hate life. All right. It.
Okay, so before we finish off, there's one video we want to watch, kind of just as to get some sort of laugh and joy out of the show.
Are you wondering if I got an Arby's beef and cheddar between my legs? I know that tongue's as flat as an old hound dog. What tools you got to solve this mystery for the Wait, hold on. You know,
Sometimes you just need to laugh a little bit.
That was funny. That was way
And
funny.
the thing is, it incorporated funny Scooby-Doo, like, oh, I got
Yep.
a mystery for you to solve.
There's like a Scooby snack down there.
like,
That's yeah.
there was more humor than that. As gross and, the parts
that's
just
what they
like,
did.
I'm sorry, did that offend your delicate sensibilities?
well, kind of, yeah. But like, I'll put up with it because I've had to watch Velma as well. And
Yeah, but
Velma,
that's how you do that, though.
yeah, that's how you do it.
At least we ended on a positive note.
Shout out to Meat Canyon.
Yeah, he does some terrific stuff.
Yeah, that was done very quickly as well. Look, thank you all for watching. We hope that you enjoyed this one. Will there be a next one?
Who knows?
You have to wait and see.
Hopefully not.
I don't know if Marcus will be in the next one though. Will you be here for the next one?
I guess it'll be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise for everyone. So, as always, we hope you all stay on watch.